everybody. Welcome to Fractured Focus, episode number 5 for the Christmas holiday. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Gordon, alongside my brother, the illustrious Dan Gordon. Dan, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Ready for Christmas?
I am totally stoked.
Totally
Just
stoked.
totally. Like
I can't
80s
think
style.
of a better thing that's gonna relate to everybody that's watching this, including Matt. Matt, are you totally stoked?
Totally.
Coming in from Omaha, Nebraska, Swinehart himself. Matt, are you all ready for Christmas tomorrow? Well, I guess it's not tomorrow, is it? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Yes.
We do our
Sunday.
Christmas presents on Eve, though.
Yeah. I think we actually have the shopping done finally, as of about an hour ago.
You're one of them.
Better late than never.
As long as there's presents to open on Christmas, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah. Why not?
You open them on Saturday or on Sunday? Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
We have a holiday with the family tomorrow and Sunday, so they'll get some presents tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice, relaxing holiday, and we're already getting some more snow right now, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, cool. So, because we're not slackers, and we could have easily taken the holidays off, we're doing this episode anyway, because we just fucking rock that much. And we want to make sure that all 2 of our fans aren't wondering at 3 a.m. what's going on, you know.
No doubt.
Put their mind at ease.
I don't want to live with that on my
Christmas
conscience.
ideas.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but stuff's going on upstairs. So let's go ahead
In
and
case mom doesn't know what I want yet.
we'll make this somewhat Christmas. Okay, I'm trying to think how to segue from that. We'll make this somewhat Christmas themed. Not all. Obviously, our first topic isn't really. Blade Runner's kind of Christmassy, right? Doesn't that take place around Christmas? I don't know. Who knows? But the Blade Runner teaser trailer just came out, and they hinted at some stuff in there that looks like Ridley Scott, who directed and created Blade Runner and the original Alien movie, and then most recently did the Prometheus prequel movie, the first of 3 prequels for the Alien series. They had some tie-ins that make it look like they could be in one shared universe. And my understanding, and you guys are going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a long time since I've seen Blade Runner. Like a long time. I didn't even think the movie was just not good. Like, I understood why it got so much praise. It was artistically well done, and it was maybe ahead of its time, whatever. It just didn't really appeal to me. The Alien stuff I loved. So it's been a long time since I've watched that movie, but I know it's a huge fan favorite. How many Ultimate Edition DVD and Blu-rays and Final Cuts have they put out of that?
I think they did a total of 7 different releases on that movie.
Yeah.
Man, they're almost like approaching George Lucas.
Originally the movie
Star
wasn't
Wars
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
And it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show in a way.
Well, what did you guys think of the teaser and the possibility that it might be all of Blade Runner? Because I could see how that could work. Could be taking place in the same universe as the Alien, story.
Well, it's kind of, I keep thinking, how many movie franchises is Harrison Ford just going to keep coming in just to kind of tie in either
The new guy?
Yeah, for a new reboot. Are we going to be seeing like another Fugitive where he's now a 65-year-old guy who's
Still living with the Amish?
Again.
You're right. You didn't. The
Sorry,
stroke
different
did.
one.
But I like Blade Runner quite a bit, and I think Ryan Gosling, he could do.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like they're trying to model this thing where he's just going to become the new Decker, and it's essentially it's kind of like a retelling of the Blade Runner story with some kind of tweaks, so you can still get Harrison Ford in there. With regards to the Alien tie-in. Well, one of the things I kind of liked about the original series is that I'm not really too excited about that element.
I don't think that they'll do much with it. I think, if anything, it was just a nice Easter egg nod.
Yeah.
They're not going to start putting xenomorphs.
It was Easter eggs.
Yeah, they're not going to put xenomorphs and military, the Colonial Marines or whoever's fighting them in this time. I don't see them doing that into the Blade Runner
Even the reference,
movies.
though. I mean, one of the nice things about, for as complex as the movie was, the nice thing is that it's still just focused around just humans and humanity.
Yeah.
They include like the replicant element, but that was just because they needed to kind of something to compare humanity to, and
right.
Something. So humans and replicants, kind of what makes them different, what makes them the same, and just things like that nature. When you start incorporating an outside element, even if it is just as a nod to it, it almost seems like superfluous and unnecessary.
Do you think it's going to hurt the movie or hurt the story?
I think
because I don't mind the
only
Easter
to the
eggs.
point that it's just this extra stuff to throw in that really kind of takes away what Blade Runner is, and that's where it's it's very visually appealing, but it's also based around just kind of like this central theme, and aliens just really don't fit into that at all. So when you have like those two major drivers for the film, adding this as an attack on whether it's an homage or just kind of like a quick blurb, I just kind of I just don't think it's
the sci-fi and the horror genres maybe not. I don't think they're going to really mix them. I think it was just going to be an Easter egg, and that's it.
Even just having them included, it just kind of seems just like I said, unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's not going to really do anything for that movie.
What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think the events of the original Blade Runner happened years before Alien. The only real tie-in is that the company that makes the replicants is the same one that makes the android Bishop for the aliens. And I mean that's like the tie-in.
Right.
Other than that, and then in Prometheus they did like an Easter egg where they got a message, and it happened to be from the president of the company that makes the replicants, that was talking to. I don't think Michael Fassbender's character's name's Bishop in it. That was the original droid in the Alien movies, but in the Prometheus ones, he gets an email or communication from the company that makes the replicants, which is like, it was an Easter egg. So I don't know if it's a full blown shared universe,
right?
Because if you think about the Alien universe now includes the Predators as well. If you want to talk about a shared universe,
now that's something I can get behind.
I mean, because they've had that tie-in, Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, that was in the
and
comics.
It wasn't the first one. The original,
movies, right?
Yeah, the original Predator had one of the alien heads in it. The very first one, when they found his ship and they found all those different things.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's been a shared universe, I feel like, for a while. I feel like this is more, like you said, like an Easter egg, just kind of dropping things in there. I know one of the big things with Blade Runner, like especially the question at the end was Decker a replicant?
Right.
But the events of this movie look like they happened, 20, 30 years later. So is that going to answer one of those questions? Is Decker a replicant that managed to live beyond his 4 years, or was he actually a person?
True.
They're probably going to have to address that, since that was the biggest question mark surrounding the movie. Right? I mean, can you imagine all the outrage
at the end? Yeah, that was the big cliffhanger.
Right. Yeah,
that's what the unicorns were
I'm just trying
about.
to picture everyone's flipping out on Twitter to
sure why that was
reviews
ever
saying,
put in there, but yeah.
if wouldn't it be funny actually if they danced around it and hinted but didn't come right out and say, well, no, he's a real person. But then at the end they do another one, or is he? Yeah. Just to piss us off all over again. You're like, really?
Is Ryan Gosling also a replicant?
doing a Dr. Evil into the camera.
Does he think he's Decker?
Yeah.
Do you guys think this will be Force Awakens, where they'll kind of do beat for beat? I don't see that being Ridley Scott's style. Like, I don't think he'd do another movie if he was just going to do kind of another updated but do the exact same thing over.
It's hard to say. It's studio money sometimes.
Yeah, but Ridley Scott, I mean, he makes the movies as long as it takes for him to get them in the fire and does them his way. I mean, look at...
I think he's just producing this one.
Oh, he's not directing it?
Director is somebody completely different. It's Dennis something. Dennis Villari.
Yeah, something sounds Western European.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. I was wondering how Prometheus was going on at the same time. I thought just maybe he shipped one to the other and was edit. God, I didn't even think about that. Or not Prometheus, sorry, Alien Covenant. They're still shooting that, right? They're not done with principal photography, I don't think.
That one I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're starting to see pictures that he's starting to leak out, and I heard I read, I think it was on Screen Rant or Cinema Blend or something, that the official trailer for Alien Covenant has been rated. And every time that happens, that means usually we're only days away. I was hoping it was going to be today before we did the show that we get to see the trailer for Alien Covenant, because I am super frickin' jacked for that one. I love the Alien universe. It's going to have
Sigourney Weaver in it agagen, right?
Say what?
It's going to have Sigourney Weaver in it again?
No. It's a prequel. Remember, there's going to be Prometheus, then Alien Covenant, then one other movie. They're all prequels to the original Alien movies.
I thought there was one more Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver, though.
Yep, that was going to be Alien 5, and that's still in the back burner. But that takes place ahead of the timeline after 3, somehow. I don't know. I mean, didn't she died at the end of 3, but then they brought her back in Resurrection, and she didn't die at the end of Resurrection, did she?
They brought her back as a clone.
Yeah.
To try to get the alien out of her.
Right.
Yeah.
But this stuff is prequel territory, so they're basically showing how, like, where the aliens originally came from, what they referred to as the Elephant Man or the space something. I can't remember what it is, but it looks like the kind of biosuit that looks like it was driving a ship where they found the original alien egg. And they're like, what was this? Where did it come from? And they're going back and showing us what species. And it looks like from Prometheus, they're the ones that actually seeded DNA into Earth, that created us. So, he's going to he's going to keep going down that road. And I'm sure it's going to piss off a whole bunch of, religious. I mean, you should have seen all the upheaval if you didn't read about that because, I think what they allude to in Prometheus is they seeded Earth with DNA. Humans finally evolved after millions of years, like hundreds of millions or whatever it was. And then humanity was going off course. So they sent one of their people, one of the aliens back to help guide, humanity back. And that's who, like, Jesus was. And we put him on the cross. This is literally what Ridley Scott said. He goes, well, something happened about 2,000 years ago that really pissed them off. What do you think that might be? And so that didn't make a lot of religious groups happy, but that was basically the story he's telling now. I really want to see where this is going because they decided at that point to go ahead and basically destroy Earth, which was the whole Prometheus movie, that it's basically they find a giant ship and that whole planet is nothing but a military weapons manufacturing stuff with that black goo that's basically set out to destroy all DNA and wipe out all life. But for some reason the ship didn't get launched. From the holograms that they watched in that movie, it looks like they got into some kind of accident with the ship where that black stuff turned on them. And so they all ended up dying except for one that was in cryosleep. He wakes up, about to reignite the mission, about to go and wipe out Earth, and they stop him. And that's what leads to this next movie where we're finding out, well, who are these people? Where did they come from? Why did you do all this stuff? So I really don't think those were the kinds of prequels we were expecting from Alien. I thought we were just going to get, well, show me what was the original planet. But no, this was a genetically engineered species. And as of Prometheus, they haven't gotten to that part where the xenomorph has come to be, and we're finally going to see it in the second one. How they engineer it or what, I don't know, but I'm really pumped for this stuff. I mean, I love the Alien movies. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean the Covenant sounds amazing, but it wasn't Prometheus. It was okay.
Lukewarm. Yeah, exactly.
It was kind of like loose tie-in. Kind of take it or leave it, but it's there. I'm not gonna bash on it. Just I'm not going to do backflips or cartwheels for it either.
Right. You like the Alien movies?
Yeah, I like the Alien movies. Most of them, anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, go ahead.
No, the one I was talking about where they bring Sigourney Weaver back as a clone. That one, it was kind of a stretch.
You know what's funny is
Winona Ryder as the robot or the android is like, yeah.
I thought it was good up until the end where it just got weird. Like this alien that can now make what queen could usually lay thousands of eggs, but now we're going to evolve and have this one that just gives birth to one at a time. Great evolution. And it looked just fucked up, But you know what's interesting? Guess who wrote the screenplay for that? Joss Whedon.
Really?
Yeah, but here's what's funny. That story and the way it ended is not the way Joss Whedon wrote it originally or wanted it to. The studio involved and twisted so much up eventually that we're going to land on planet Earth. But if there's one thing that's really good if you rewatch that movie, don't get me wrong, I completely agree with you. Especially the ending just is fucking weird. And I don't think that's what he wanted either for how it to transpire for the ending. But the dialogue between the group of the mercenaries that come on board and all that stuff is actually really good. And when you go back, you're like, you know what? That's Joss Whedon and ensemble writing.
Yeah. I like Ron Perlman in that movie.
Yeah.
Hellboy.
Yeah, I mean, the characters have some depth, too.
Right.
I mean, it's part of what Josh Whedon does really good is that sacrifice that a character is willing to make.
Right.
And it almost makes them endearing in a way. Even if you don't like them because they're assholes or whatever, he just has a way to make it endearing because it's like they're willing to make the sacrifice.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how the genres of it's so funny. We started on Blade Runner, and now we're like going to spend more time talking about Alien. Hey, the topic was interconnected universe, so we're going to expand on that all we can because we all know it's probably we're never going to see an alien or a xenomorph in a Blade Runner movie. But we may as well at least hypothesize right now.
Yeah,
Alien shifted from being a horror movie to being an kind of horror, but more action Aliens when Cameron took it over. Yeah. But I still think, at least to me and a lot of people, Aliens is probably the best out of the series.
It is. The
It's
the
second one
most
is by far
fun.
the best.
Yeah. If we could watch any movie right now and pop it in, I would
Yeah.
say, well, let's do Aliens.
Yeah. We're
Um,
the girl in charge?
game over, man.
Everything that Bill
Yeah.
Paxton
We're
says in
fucked.
that movie is just gold.
He's a goddamn internet
Most
meme
of that was
machine.
ad-libbed, too. Most of that was ad-libbed.
Yeah,
That stuff wasn't
uh-huh.
in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's brilliant.
Yeah. You know what? Who wrote 3? No, yeah, Joss Whedon wrote 4. I was trying to think. I just watched the original director's cut, or the extended one of 3, where they added in stuff. I don't like what they added. I like the original theatrical cut better. It just made it more... I mean, if you haven't seen both, watch, because I'd love to hear what your take on is it. But anyway, I guess we should probably bring this back into the original bullet point. So, what do you guys think of the teaser trailer?
Very teasery. All that we see
Was
is
it only like...
Teaseristic.
Yeah,
it was a minute. It was like a minute and 49.
Yeah, and you just see.
It was pretty much a trailer.
Yeah, that you see the walk. I think there's some voiceover from Harrison Ford from the first movie, and then it's constantly just a back shot of somebody walking away, which we find out to be Ryan Gosling, but he's walking through again that the rainy, danky looks like Los Angeles, like it was in the first movie, and then into a desert. Looks like he's walking into what appears to be like a Tyrell building. And then ultimately we see.
I think it was the original building that he was in.
Yeah. So and then
I think you've already confirmed that.
and then just a side shot showing that it looks like this new guy in the trench coat. It's Ryan Gosling, and out of the shadows comes Harrison Ford. Not a lot to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Does
funny.
Ryan Gosling say anything in the trailer? I can't even remember him saying anything.
I think so. It's like a one-liner, but
I see him play the piano, and then Harrison Ford comes out
Yeah.
pointing a gun at him.
yeah.
You know, what's funny is
Like,
much
why'd
as
you steal the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, they got to throw some kind of little
Jab.
something in there. I just don't know why Blade Runner just never did anything for me, but yet something like Westworld on HBO I couldn't get enough of. I don't know.
Well, it's a kind of a stylish thing too. I mean, are you much of a fan of a noir type genre?
Could be. I mean, I don't know. Give me some examples.
So
maybe.
think of just like the old black and white gumshoe. You know,
Right.
Dame walks through my door, and she reeks of bourbon and God knows what. But just that
nothing
kind of
comes to
storytelling.
mind, right, that would jump out where I'm like, yeah. I mean, maybe there's some out there that I haven't seen that I would like. I'm familiar with the genre, but I mean, nothing. Can you guys think?
think about it like Casablanca set in the future, in a dystopian future.
Yeah. I mean,
It's kind of that way because it kind of follows those same kind of keys and points because you got the private eye, which he's really not, but Harrison Ford plays that role in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very artsy. It is very. It takes a lot of those cues from the 1950s and stuff like that in the movie, but still trying to show it as a future place.
Right.
And I'm curious if they're going to still go with the futuristic style. And by futuristic, I mean futuristic based off of 1980s filmmaker, what they envisioned the future to
Right.
be, with a lot of face makeup and looks like a lot of hairband-ish type styling. Do
you think they'll evolve
some
it
of
to
the
our
glam.
It all
modern
comes
expectations of the future? Do you
It
think
all
they'll...
comes back. Look at what they're selling in the stores now. It's what we wore in the 90s. A lot of neon print.
I want to see Decker walking around in some parachute pants.
Wouldn't it
Yeah,
be cool if all
and
of a
Crocs
sudden...
on this time.
Because didn't they talk? They set it up for even more. Like Ryan Gosling, this is going to be the first of multiple movies that they might
I
do
think
in
so.
this. Could you imagine where we watch one and it's the first trailer we see and half the people are wearing like bell bottoms?
Yeah, or something.
I don't know. Okay, cool.
As long as they don't end it with another goddamn unicorn. That's
I'm sure there's going to be some origami, maybe a scorpion this
yeah,
time.
but Jesus, it's like we're just gonna stop the movie now.
When does this movie come out? Does anybody know?
Probably
next year?
It's October. I think it's October 1st, 2017.
Okay.
I meant to write the date down. It is next year that it's coming out.
Well, I'll probably let you guys see it and tell me what you think. I might wait for digital on that. We'll see. Unless you tell me it's awesome, then maybe I'll go.
The hype machine will get you before then.
Yeah.
You know what? Challenge accepted. Because so
Trickle,
far,
trickle.
I hear
Trickle,
it.
trickle.
Cult movie. A lot of people like it. Go to town. I'm gonna go back to my Rogue One and watch my Vader splooge. All right, cool.